Welcome to Walnut Grove. We're here at MTSU's campus, and it's senior night as the Blue Raiders are going to host Sam Houston. I'm Ethan Williams, joined by Brett Walker and Willie Failer, and we're going to go straight into taking a look at some of the other games happening around Conference USA.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Week 13. After nearly 3 months of non-stop action, the college football regular season is drawing to a close, and conference championship races are heating up. Conference USA is no different, with 3 teams vying for spots in the title game with just 2 weeks remaining. Here's a quick look at the top of the standings and a quick trip around this USA. In the famous words of the late Las Vegas Raiders team owner Al Davis, just win, baby. That's all the Jacksonville State Gamecocks have to do to make and host their second consecutive USA Championship game. Head coach Charles Kelly hasn't skipped a beat in his first year coaching the Gamecocks, as JSU still boasts the nation's leading rusher in Cam Cook and the second best scoring offense in CUSA, averaging over 30 points per game. As long as the Gamecocks win at least one of their last 2 games, either today at FIU or next week versus Western Kentucky, they'll be back in the title game once more. Coming off a 7th consecutive victory over rival MTSU, Western Kentucky is riding high on a 3-game winning streak. Unfortunately for Big Red and his followers, though, WKU will have to leave the hills of Western Kentucky behind this weekend and descend into Death Valley for a non-conference clash with the LSU Tigers. Though a loss to LSU is likely, it wouldn't necessarily impact the Hilltoppers' championship hopes. The game WKU needs to win is next week when the Tops travel to Jacksonville, Alabama and face the Gamecocks. Should WKU win that game, it would return to the CUSA Championship for the 2nd straight year, for a potential rematch against Jack State just a week later. Unlike the 2 aforementioned squads, the Owls of Kennesaw State need a little help if they want to make their first ever CUSA title game. To make it to the championship, KSU must win its 2 remaining games, today against the feisty 4th place Missouri State Bears and next week against the fiery Liberty Flames, all while hoping WKU drops its last conference game of the year against Jack State. It seems like a lot to ask for the Owls as they sit on the outside looking in at a championship berth, but in the ever unpredictable Conference USA, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, fellas, it's not going to be an easy road for Kennesaw State to make it to the title game, but we'll see as we go through these last 2 weeks. And let's take a look at the other Conference USA matchups that we've got on slate for today. And firstly, we're going to have Delaware State traveling into ACC country. We've got them going at Wake Forest. Then we got Missouri State going to Kennesaw State. That's really the big one as far as seeding is concerned. Liberty traveling to Ruston, to Louisiana Tech. Sam Houston, of course, here at MTSU. New Mexico State at UTEP. Jack State at FIU. And Western Kentucky going into Baton Rouge for a battle with the Bayou Bengals. And we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, Mr. Ethan Williams is going to give us the scouting report on Sam Houston.
I am True Blue.
As a member of this diverse community,
I am a valuable contributor
To its progress and success.
I am engaged in the life of this community.
I am a recipient and a giver.
I am a listener and a speaker.
I am honest in word and deed.
I am committed to reason, not violence.
I am a learner.
Now and forever.
I am a Blue Raider.
I am a Blue Raider.
I'm a Blue Raider.
True Blue.
I help people.
I create music.
I shape the future.
I am an entrepreneur.
I inspire people with more than words.
I ride forward. The sky is not my limit.
Find your blue at MTSU.
Okay, Adam, let's get a quick mic check.
Yeah, sure. Blue Raider Extra Point is live at the Hall of Fame.
Hey, you and Dylan are going to be on camera too this week, all right?
All right, got it.
Lightning! Hey, Lightning! You can come watch us.
Oh, is that Lightning?
Hey, even better, why don't you come join us?
Oh, hey, Lightning, what's up?
Better yet, you can take Noah's spot.
The new host of Blue Raider Extra Point, the one, the only Lightning.
Welcome back to the fabulous campus of MTSU, where the Blue Raiders and Bearcats are set to square off at 2 p.m. Central today. And before today's game, Ethan, you've got a little bit of an inside scoop on Sam Houston's quarterback situation. Let's take a look.
It's senior night at Johnny Red Floyd Stadium, and MTSU has their last chance to break a 7-game losing streak on the season and an even longer losing streak at home. MTSU hasn't won a home game since October of last year, and with this being their last home game of the season, they need to find a way to win, as they risk going winless at home for the first time since 2020. But Sam Houston won't make it easy. The Bearcats are 2-8 on the year under their first-year head coach and are on a 2-game win streak with victories over Oregon State and Delaware. Now, Sam Houston is a team that doesn't like to put the ball in the air, with the team only having a total of 1,700 passing yards and 9 passing touchdowns on the season, opposed to 7 interceptions. It was also announced earlier this week that the Bearcats will be missing their starting quarterback, Hunter Watson, due to an injury. So the Blue Raiders will need to prepare for either freshman Landon Locke or Wisconsin transfer Marbury Madauer. Locke, the true freshman, has already got some playing time so far this season as he's put up 360 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Madauer, the Wisconsin transfer, has also got some playing time this season, having put up 294 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. In the air, their 2 main targets are going to be Chris Reed and Grady O'Neal. Reed with 300 receiving yards on the year and a team-leading 3 receiving touchdowns. And O'Neal with 22 catches, which is tied for most on the team, and 230 receiving yards. Sam Houston is going to try and establish the run, something that MTSU is good at stopping. The Bearcats average 130 yards on the ground per game with a deep running back room, but their lead back is going to be Landon Brown, who has almost 600 total yards on the year and 4 total touchdowns. On defense, the Bearcats really struggle to stop the pass, but have done a good job of limiting big run plays. Despite their secondary being the weakest spot of the defense, they do have an outstanding defensive back that the Blue Raiders need to keep an eye on, Eamon Allen, who leads the team with 3 interceptions. Another big playmaker they have on defense is linebacker Antavius Fish, a senior who transferred in from Akron. Fish is a big playmaker with over 70 tackles on the season and is a big part of Sam Houston's good run defense.
Yeah, great stuff there, Ethan, and giving us a little bit of an inside scoop and just some info on the Bearcats.
Yeah, and Willie actually can give us a little bit more info as he actually got to talk to some of Sam Houston's media. What did they tell you about the Bearcats this week?
Yeah, Ethan, I write a weekly series called The Other Sideline where I speak to an opposing beat writer for the team MTSU is playing. And so this week I spoke to Colton Harder, the sports editor of a newspaper in Huntsville called the Huntsville Item. And Harder's big thing that he was really heavy on was Coach Phil Longo's he declined to announce a starter for this week between Locke and Madauer. And Locke, a true freshman coming in year 1 of the Longo scheme, but he's played 4 games, so he's at the risk of losing that red shirt. And the feeling around the program is they really want to preserve that for him and give him an extra year. But the problem with that is the other option, former 4-star recruit Marbury Madauer, not very good at football. Madauer, I know you said it in the package, Ethan. He's got about 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's not a 1-game line. That's across about 5 or 6 games. He made the start against Oregon State in their win 2 weeks ago. Got benched for Landon Locke in the second half. Locke had 42 yards. Madauer had 43 through the air. So regardless, it's going to be a struggle. But I think the best option for Sam Houston is going to be Locke. And regardless, they're going to heavily rely on running back Coco Jones. He's gotten 100 yards in both of their wins this year, and so they go as far as he can.
And Jones is one of the best players on this offense. He has over 600 total yards, and we'll give a little bit more info on not only Sam Houston, but a lot of the games going on this week right after this.
What I love about MTSU is that you already know if you are guaranteed to be admitted. The requirements aren't hidden, and you can know today if you are accepted and qualify for one of our guaranteed scholarships. There's no mystery. Plus, you can add all of your scholarships together. We have so much to offer, and it's all right here on campus. Apply on our website at mtsu.edu/apply now. And don't forget to submit your application by December 1st to qualify for a guaranteed scholarship.
We do it. The stars come to Middle Tennessee State University. And students come here to become stars, no matter what they pursue.
Hey, coach.
We do it all. We're the only college of media and entertainment in the world, just outside the heart of Nashville.
Look, mic check, 1, 2, everybody listen. When you do it like this, ain't no competition. I'm talking B.I.G., VIP. Treat them like a front row seat and make them pay attention. If I shoot for the 3, then I ain't never missing. Cranking up the degrees like I was in the kitchen. Can't lose, got too much to prove. And when you do it all, it get too hard to do it.
Our curriculum and facilities are cutting edge, and our relationships with industry leaders give students an edge over the competition. Check it out. You can get real-world experience with degrees in recording industry, media arts, journalism and strategic media, and more. Media and entertainment at Middle Tennessee State University. Learn to shine.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point. We're a couple hours away from Senior Day festivities kicking off, and there might not be a Senior Day bigger than that of redshirt senior Nick Vadiato.
It's senior night at Floyd Stadium, and tonight several Blue Raiders will set foot on this turf one last time. Among them, the quarterback and team leader, Nick Vadiato. Coming out of high school, Nick was a 3-star recruit that chose the Blue Raiders over schools like South Florida, Appalachian State, and Kentucky. And in week 8 of his true freshman year, it was announced that he would have to step up and lead his team for the rest of the season after an injury to Middle's starting quarterback. And his first game would be a baptism by fire against Western Kentucky. Nick would struggle that game and throw 5 interceptions in a loss to the Hilltoppers. But he would rebound at the last stretch of the season and lead the Blue Raiders to a win over Toledo in the Bahamas Bowl. After Nick's redshirt sophomore year, the program and Coach Rick Stockstill would part ways. But Nick wouldn't hit the portal. He'd stick with the Blue Raiders for something greater.
See, because in this day and age, everybody talks about the money piece of it. He was more about the legacy piece of it.
Over the past 5 years, Nick would develop not just as a player, but as a leader.
I think it's something as a leader that I've kind of learned and I've grown into throughout my time. I've seen a lot of good leaders come before me, and I've tried to take different things that I've seen them do, and I've kind of, applied it to myself and understand like how I can do it, so I'm not like coming off as fake in a way. I think that's really important as a leader, that you're being yourself.
And if you ask his teammates about him, they'll tell you about the value he adds to this team.
So since I got here, he's believed in me. He believed in me every day. He just told me to keep working, even when I didn't have things going on. Like, I had things like a lot of things going on mentally, but he kept me in the game. So I feel like him just like being a veteran and going out there and leading us every day and just working.
But now with his time with the program coming to a close, and he's doubtful to play in today's game, he's still found a spot leading from the sideline. And despite how the season may end, he's been grateful for every opportunity.
Although Vadiato's not expected to suit up today, it's probably still a pretty sweet feeling for him to see a guy that he's mentored in Roman Gagliano really taking off for the Blue Raiders.
And I didn't get to use it, but he had a really great quote in the preseason talking about his time with the Blue Raiders and coming back, where he said, I'm grateful for it all. Every pick and every touchdown, I'm grateful for it all. And it's very unfortunate that he's doubtful to play today, but still just what a wonderful career for Vadiato and the Blue Raiders.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great to see his mentorship of Roman Gagliano just continue. Their friendship is what they have appears to be, just from the outside looking in, really special. They even shared a podcast last year.
Nick and Roman's Empire, never forget.
Empire, never forget it. 14 episodes. I doubt it gets renewed for a second season.
They had Cam Newton on there, man.
They did have Cam
crazy.
Newton. It was pretty crazy, but it's great to see. Just Nick's a great guy, and hate to see his career end in this way. But we're going to take a quick look at our keys to succeed, fellas. What do we got?
So starting out for me, I think the quickest thing that MTSU is going to have to do is they're just going to have to pass the ball and also prevent the Bearcats from passing the ball. Sam Houston, not the best offense in the world. As we talked about during the scouting report, their leading running back only has 400 yards. Their top receiver only has 300 yards, and they're coming in here with a new quarterback. Still unsure about who that is, but they're going to have to be able to defend the pass, and they're also going to have to, like what Nick did just there in that play, they have to take the top off this defense. They're really going to have to exploit this very weak Sam Houston State secondary, and they're also just going to have to stop turnovers, something that the Blue Raiders have had a little bit of trouble with over the season, whether it be fumbles that sent them back behind the chains or whether it be interceptions at horrible times. The Blue Raiders just really need to take care of the ball, and Roman Gagliano didn't have any turnovers turnovers last week, so that's a very good sign if we do see him come into the game. It also looks like Jaquil Middlebrook might be back in this game as well. So the Blue Raiders are really just going to have to keep the ball in their hands.
Yeah, for me, Ethan, I think the biggest thing first is just letting Roman Gagliano find that flow state in his home starting debut for the Blue Raiders. We saw on the road last week in Bowling Green a lot of screen passes early from offensive coordinator Bodie Reeder. And Bodie, if you're listening all year, I'm sure you've seen my opinions. I've been begging you to run the ball. This week, don't run it. Let Roman find his flow. Let him do his thing. Take some risks on senior day because it hasn't been a great turn of events so far for the Blue Raiders. So be aggressive. Come out and let Roman do his thing. Flipping over to the defense, they've got to stop penalties, specifically in the secondary. They've been a very undisciplined group, specifically cornerback Abdul Muhammad. Muhammad's gotten a couple personal fouls that have really set the Blue Raiders back, specifically a face mask late in the loss to Delaware on the road back during weekday CUSA. That killed him. Final thing I've got is we need the seniors on defense to step up. Parker Hughes, DeMonte Smith, they've been two of the best defenders for the Blue Raiders all year. They've got one last chance to show why on the turf at Floyd Stadium.
And for me, I think today, for MTSU, the problems have been pretty clear. So a lot of us have the same things. And my first one is let Roman rule. We saw in the clip earlier, he was rumbling and stumbling on that one play, 64 yards down to the 2-yard line last week for MTSU. That's longest rush by a quarterback this year for MTSU. And that's really what separates him from Vadiato, is they're both very good passers, but Roman just has those legs, and it makes him more dynamic, and that's what Derek Mason has said about him in these past couple of weeks. He had 88 rush yards last week against WKU, and you just got to let the gag man go, and as MTSU looks for its first win in 7 weeks. And secondly, today they got to be disciplined in their gaps on defense. MTSU has had a strong front seven all year, whether it be Anthony Bynum, Brandon Buckner, all of those guys have really just made made up MTSU's strongest unit. And but last week against Western Kentucky, they had some big plays get through, and it really just hurt them against the Hilltoppers down the stretch. And last but not least, get the running backs more involved. I don't care if it's Jaquil Middlebrook. I don't care if it's DJ Taylor. If you got to throw it to him, if you got to hand it off to him, just get the running backs more involved and make this offense more dynamic.
And be sure to stay tuned here to Blue Raider Extra Point, because coming up we have a special guest joining us, and we'll also let you know who we think is going to take the W today as we hit the last stretch of the season.
And that's how electricity flows.
Hey, Mom! Don't break it, don't break it.
It's just one thing.
Thank you.
Wow, this looks amazing.
This is the electric robot I made all by myself.
See that? Go slow.
I see it.
Hello. Hello. You are looking good today.
Well, thank you.
I think it's time we take this off, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Oh, you all right? Say hi to Becca for me.
Hey, Greg. Thanks for the extra delivery this week.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point, where we're now joined by Carla Fox, who's a professor here at MTSU and also has her own sports podcast, which she's been running for a number of years. Carla, what can you tell us about it?
Sure. So I am co-host of the Carla and Crappy Show. My co-host goes by the name of Uncle Crappy. That's his pen name. And we've been talking about college football on the internet for 14 years now. We started in August of 2012, and we started as a vidcast. Now we're a podcast. So I am joined by host Mike Pound, and then another host that joined us a little bit along the way, AJ Kuftick. And so the three of us talk about college football every week during the regular season for the past 14 years.
Yeah, and you don't just cover, the big games. You also go through, every level of it.
We do, yeah. We talk a lot about Group of 5. We talk a lot about middle, thanks to my connections
sorry.
here. Hey, it was fun during the Hawaii Bowl years. Okay, come
Absolutely.
on. But no, we talk about middle. We talk about CUSA. We talk Group of 5. We talk Big 12 every week because that's always an adventure. And then we talk about ranked, unranked, kind of your top 25 kind of matchups. But you can check us out. We're every week during the regular season. We are at carlacrappyshow.com. There's no and in that, so carlacrappyshow.com is where you can find all of our stuff. We're on Substack. We're everywhere. And we go both YouTube and audio podcasts every week. We still have 6 shows left. I was just figuring that out. We still have 6 shows left in the 2025 season, which is crazy.
And what a ride this season has been. And we're now going to get into our best segment of the show, the picks. And Carla, we're going to start with you. The first game we're picking today is going to be Missouri State versus Kennesaw State. Who do you have?
So, for full disclosure, we talked about this week on our podcast, and so I'm bringing consensus picks from my 2 co-hosts who are both up in Pittsburgh, and we did not come to consensus here. The Bears have been impressive in their first season in FBS. Jacob Clark's a slinger. 30 of 39 for 330 and 4 touchdowns last week against UTEP. That being said, the Kennesaw State defense is legit good, and advanced stats rank the Owls higher in every category. Factor in they're playing at home with a chance at the CUSA title game on the line. We'll take the Owls.
Absolutely, Carla. Kennesaw State has been, for my money, which isn't worth very much for the record, but for my money, Kennesaw State has been the most surprising team in college football this year. They were one of the worst programs in the nation last year, and they've turned it around, and now they're right in the hunt for the Conference USA Championship. Missouri State is a formidable foe, though. Like you said, Jacob Clark has had a fantastic year as in the Bears' first year in the FBS. But I think I'm going to have to go with Kennesaw here. I think they need it more. They want it more. Although Missouri State, they're not eligible for the CUSA Championship or a bowl game, so they might be looking to play spoiler, but give me Kennesaw State at home in this one.
Yeah, Brett, I think Kennesaw State's marching band puts it best. You don't want to go to war with the Owls. And it's a very explosive offense that they've got right there just outside of Atlanta, whether it's Amari Odom at quarterback or Dexter Williams II, who's kind of fitting more of a Taysom Hill Swiss Army knife role now. But either way, I think those two plus just that wide receiving core and then Coleman Bennett out of the backfield, I don't think Missouri State has a chance at stopping them no matter what Jacob Clark's able to do tonight. So give me Kennesaw State.
And I agree with all of you. We got a clean sweep here. I'm taking the Owls over the Bears today. Kennesaw State just has a phenomenal offense. We've watched them take it all up and down the field against the middle, and we've seen them do it against a bunch of teams this season with Amari Odom or really whoever they put back there at quarterback. And their defense has gotten better as the year's gone on as well. But with how big of a liability Missouri State's offensive line is, I don't know if they can keep Jacob Clark upright in order to, keep the offense rolling. So that's why I'm going with Amari Odom and the Owls in today's matchup. Now going back over to you, Carla, we've got Liberty versus Louisiana Tech. Who do you have?
Liberty's moved the ball well all season, really, especially on the ground. The big challenge with Liberty this year, they can't finish drives. They move the ball and then can't score. Louisiana Tech, again, playing at home, boasting an outstanding defense. We were consensus on this one. We're taking the Bulldogs.
Yeah, this one's an interesting one, too, because I think if you looked at it preseason, you had this one scheduled late in the year. You thought this might be a game that decides some Conference USA Championship.
Yeah.
Has an effect on that. And La Tech started off the season really hot. Liberty's on the opposite end, started slow, as kind of came along as the season has progressed. And I know we talked about it a little in the pre-show. It's kind of a mid-bowl today between Liberty and La Tech, kind of those middle of the pack teams in Conference USA. There's a lot of good and a lot of bad. These are just one of the two of those two teams that are in the middle. And so I'm just going to have to go with the home team in this one. Give me Louisiana Tech in Ruston and the Bulldogs to take down the Flames.
Yeah, building off Brett's point of the mid-off between the Bulldogs and the Flames today, Louisiana Tech had a great year, but I really think there's some stuff at stake for Liberty today. Quarterback Ethan Vasco, I feel like he's been playing college football since I was in middle school. He's starting to run out of time, so he's going to want to leave on a good note. And then head coach Jamie Chadwell, Liberty, they've got some pretty deep pockets over there with the private school in Lynchburg, so boosters might not be too happy, and Chadwell might be wanting to make a move. I mean, there's going to be a lot of spots open around college football. I mean, James Franklin really kicking off the avalanche of head coaching moves around. So Jamie Chadwell might be a guy that's able to move up, or if he's just unhappy in Liberty, leave. But I think for him to do that, he needs a win today over the Bulldogs. So give me the Flames in Ruston.
I'm going to go with the Bulldogs in today's match. Louisiana Tech started off the year real hot, and we thought, hey, maybe they're going to get a conference title before they take off for the Sun Belt, but they really started to slow down as the season's gone on. Liberty on the opposite end. They started off real slow, and they've kind of picked up their feet and got running, as the season's gone on. But I got Liberty Tech taking the Flames just because, I mean, Liberty Tech's shown us that they can win in tight games. They can win in big games. They had some trouble with an FCS team, but so did Middle early in the year. But I've got
a little more than trouble.
Yeah, a little more than trouble. So I've got the Bulldogs taking down the Liberty Flames. And Carla, now we've got FIU versus Jacksonville State.
Yeah, for the record, one of us on the show called the upset here and picked FIU. But I don't agree. I think this is a Jacksonville State win because it's really tough to win a football game if you do not see the football. The Gamecocks are 5th in the country in rushing yards per game at 260 per tilt, thanks mostly to Cam Cook, who is a delight to watch running the football unless you are trying to defend him. We remember that game here at Floyd. They're also 25th in the country in time of possession. FIU is not going to see the football. I'll take Jacksonville State on the road.
Yeah, Carla, FIU's offenses kind of seemed revitalized these last few weeks. Joe Pizanski coming in for an injured Keon Jenkins. It kind of seems like he's going to remain in that starting role as the season concludes over the next 2 weeks. And although FIU's offense has been a little bit more potent over the last few weeks, it doesn't really matter if the other team's playing keep away. Like you said, Jack State, right. They're known to play ugly games. Even they did against a struggling Middle Tennessee team. That game was close until the very end. Jack State, they're not going to blow anybody out. They're going to keep it close. But give me the Gamecocks to win and clinch a spot in the Conference USA Championship today.
This game today is it's the battle between consistent steady Eddie versus boom or bust, and that's FIU. We've seen preseason Offensive Player of the Year for Conference USA, Keon Jenkins, really slow down, missing his top 2 targets, including Eric Rivers, who left for Georgia Tech. And so I think that's really hurt him through the air, and Joe Pizanski coming in, been able to throw the ball really well, including 4 touchdowns against the Blue Raiders. But I don't think that's going to be enough against Cam Cook, the nation's leading rusher. I think Cam is going to cook today.
And I'm going to go with the Gamecocks in this one, but I think it'll be tight. We saw FIU bring in their backup quarterback against the Blue Raiders, and they started off slow, but as the season's gone on, they've really gotten into a groove, and they've really started picking up the pace, and they've shown that they can score really fast. But, like Carla mentioned, the Gamecocks aren't going to give them much time to score at all, and with how electric the Gamecock offense is, I think it'll be Jacksonville State. So lastly, the game we're all here to see, Carla, it's MTSU versus Sam Houston. Who do you got?
Well, I know that Sam Houston is on a 2-game win streak, but advanced statistics don't lie. They indicate the Bearcats are one of the worst teams in the country. Looks like Roman's going to get the start today at quarterback. He's listed at QB1 on the media depth chart. He had an incredible debut last week at Western. We love to see Middle lead into a ground game here to give him some support offensively, but it's senior day, last home game of the year. Blue Raiders come out on top at home.
Yeah, Carla, a lot of emotions, I think, today involved in this one for MTSU. Even like the seniors that aren't playing, like Nick Vadiato, and just a lot of guys, 20 seniors today, going to walk the line for MTSU. And it's just got that feel where they haven't won a home game in over a year. This would, if they lose today, it would be the first time that they've had a full season winless at home since 1933, which is when this stadium was built. So it'd be the first time ever. And so the Blue Raiders, I think with that in mind and just to get the vibes up, right? The season, bowl-wise has been lost for a while, but you want to just end the season, the home season, on a high note, and I think MTSU finally breaks the 7-game losing streak today and gets it done. Give me the Blue Raiders.
This might be the most confident I've been in a Blue Raider win since, week 1 and the disaster that was the Austin Peay loss. And about the last month or so in Coach Derek Mason's press conferences, he's been talking about the youth movement that this team's been seeing with underclassmen stepping up, some guys like Jackson Lowe coming out on the defensive side, and then Roman Gagliano taking over at quarterback. So I think although it's senior day, there's going to be no bigger day to show that the future is now, and it's going to be the Roman show as they take down the Bearcats.
I'm going to go with the Blue Raiders here. I've gone with them all season long, and, they've hurt me quite a bit, but I got the Blue Raiders in this one. Sam Houston and MTSU, this is going to be the stoppable force versus the movable object. MTSU's offense has really struggled throughout the season, but so has Sam Houston's defense. MTSU's defense, mean front 7, pretty rough secondary. Sam Houston's offense, good running back, bad passers. So I got the Blue Raiders taking a win today over the Sam Houston Bearcats. And I think it will be close, but I do have them getting their first win at home for the season. And that's going to wrap up our show here. Thank you for joining us. This is Carla Fox, professor here at MTSU. We got Brett Walker, Willie Failer, and I'm the host, Ethan Williams. And if you've missed this or any show, you can go to our YouTube page and rewatch them. At MTN Sports on YouTube, MTN Sports 1 on Twitter or X, at Middle Tennessee News on TikTok, and _MTN Sports on Instagram. And as for me and everyone else who's been able to make this show a possibility all year long, we'll see you at the game.
We do it all. We do it all.
Hundreds of majors, an amazing campus, faculty mentors. You can find what you're looking for at Middle Tennessee State, the University of Opportunities. We do it all.